Before he is a villain, he is a child. Before he is a spy, he is a boy with secondhand robes and a father who doesn't look at him. Before he is cold and cruel and complicated, he is 9 years old, standing by a river, watching a girl with red hair make a flower, open and close with her mind, and for the first time in his life, something in him unclenches. We talk about Severus Snape like we know who he is. We don't. We know who he became. We know what he did. We know the sneer and the robes and the voice that can strip confidence from a room like paint off a wall. But we do not know the boy underneath all of that. And the boy is where everything starts, because Severus Snape was not born cruel. He was built that way, piece by piece, year by year, by a world that taught him consistently, without apology, that he did not matter enough to be treated gently. This is the story of how that happened. This is part one of the complete story of Severus Snape. We begin in a town called Cokeworth. We begin at the start. Cokeworth does not appear on any real map. J.K. Rowling invented it. But she did not invent what it feels like. If you have ever been to Rochdale or Burnley or Accrington, to any of the post-industrial towns of northern England that never quite recovered from the closing of the mills, you know Cokeworth. You know the specific texture of a town where ambition went somewhere and never came back, where the houses are narrow and close together as if warmth might be preserved by proximity, where the river runs gray and flat and smells of something you cannot name, where the sky in January is the same color as the pavement. This is where Severus Snape is born, 9th of January 1960. His father is Tobias Snape. The books give us very little about Tobias directly, but what we see in the glimpses Rowling provides, a memory through a cracked door, a raised voice, the particular quality of the silence that settles afterwards, tells us enough. Tobias Snape is a muggle, a man who seems to have wanted something from his life and did not get it, who turned that disappointment into a kind of ambient anger that lives in the house like weather. He does not appear to like his wife much. He does not appear to notice his son at all. His mother is Eileen Prince. She was once a witch of the Prince family, pure-blooded and proud, which tells you something about the fall her life took in ending up in a house on Spinner's End. Eileen Snape, née Prince, a woman who has the look, in the memories Harry sees, of someone who was defeated a long time ago and is not entirely sure how it happened. She loves her son. This is clear in the small things. She watches him. She is careful with him in the way of a woman who cannot offer what she knows he needs, but who notices what he needs, but she cannot protect him from the atmosphere of the house, and she cannot, apparently, protect herself. Severus Snape grows up in a house full of unspoken things. He learns very early that the way to survive is to make himself small, not to need too much, not to ask for things, not to draw attention, because attention in this house is not a warm thing. He is quiet, he is watchful, he reads, he observes, he develops out of sheer necessity an extraordinary ability to understand what people are feeling without being told. This is not a gift exactly, it is a survival skill. It is the skill of a child who learned to read the temperature of a room before he could read a book. And here's the first thing the world teaches Severus Snape. Other people's feelings are data. Your own feelings are a liability. He will carry this lesson for the rest of his life. She lives nearby. Her name is Lily Evans. She has dark red hair and green eyes and a laugh that sounds like it comes from somewhere safe inside her. A place that has not been touched by anything the world has tried to do to it yet. She is different from Severus in almost every way. She has parents who love her, a home that is warm, a sister who, for now, is simply a sister rather than a wound. She has the confidence of a child who has been told, reliably and repeatedly, that she is good and that she is enough. She is open where he is closed, she is bright where he is shadowed, and she notices him, not in the pitying way, not in the way people sometimes notice the strange, quiet child as a project, in the genuine way. The way that says, you are interesting, you are worth looking at. Snape notices her first. This detail matters. He sees her doing accidental magic by the river, making a flower open and close, something instinctive and joyful and entirely uncontrolled. And he watches her with the focus of someone who has found, without expecting to find it, something that answers a question they didn't know they were asking. He approaches her. He tells her she is a witch. He says it as if he is giving her a treasure. Because in his world, in the gray, narrow world of Cokeworth, where nothing seems to mean anything, magic is the one extraordinary thing, and to share it, to give it, to say, you are one of us, you are special, you are not ordinary. This is the best gift he has. She takes it. She doesn't pull back. She doesn't look at him with suspicion. She is delighted, and she tells him so, and she asks him questions, and he answers them, and it turns out that his knowledge, the thing his strange, solitary childhood gave him, the books and the hours and the intense, focused attention to things other children ignore, is suddenly interesting to someone else. He is 9 years old, and for the first time in his life, something he is worth something to another person. They become, over the summer before Hogwarts, inseparable in the way of children who have found each other in places where finding someone is rare. He tells her everything about the wizarding world. She listens and asks questions that are better than the ones he expected because Lily Evans is clever. So genuinely, energetically clever. And she matches him. She tells him about her sister Petunia, who cannot do magic and who has begun to look at Lily with an expression that Snape recognizes without being able to name it. She makes him feel like showing up is worthwhile. She makes him feel like the world is bigger than Spinner's End. She makes him feel in the specific way that only one or two people in a lifetime can, like he is exactly the right person to be in this moment. He does not have the words for this yet. He is 9. But the feeling is there, and it matters. Because Lily Evans is the first proof Severus Snape has ever had that who he is, not the version of him the house creates, not the small, careful, invisible version, but the real version, the one who reads and observes and knows things and cares intensely. That person is someone worth knowing. He will build the rest of his life around that proof, even after she is gone. They arrive at Hogwarts together, on the same train, in the same corridor. Two children from the same gray town, sitting side by side as the landscape changes from motorway to moorland to something that feels increasingly like a different world entirely. They arrive together, but they do not stay together. The Sorting Hat considers Lily for a moment and puts her in Gryffindor. The crowd cheers, she beams. The Sorting Hat considers Severus for a moment and puts him in Slytherin. The crowd is quieter. Sit with this, because the sorting is not a punishment. It is not a verdict. It is, at least in theory, simply a recognition of what is already there. The Hat puts Snape in Slytherin because of what the Hat can see. Ambition. Yes, the drive of a boy who has been told he is nothing and who has quietly, fiercely decided he will not be nothing. Cunning. Yes, the kind built not by privilege but by necessity. The cunning of someone who learned to read rooms and navigate silences before he could navigate a schoolyard. And self-preservation. Yes, the animal instinct of a child who learned very early that no one else is going to do it for him. These are Slytherin qualities, but they are also the qualities of a trauma survivor. And that distinction, which is between being naturally Slytherin and being shaped into Slytherin by a childhood like Snape's, is the one that Hogwarts, with its hard sorting lines and its early allocation of identity, does not have the sophistication to make. And here is the next thing Hogwarts offers Snape, alongside the house, friends, or what passes for friends when you are 11 years old and you have never had them before and you are not entirely sure what they are supposed to feel like. The boys in Slytherin who find him first are Avery and Mulciber. These are not kind boys, they are boys who come from old wizarding families, who speak about muggles with the casual confidence of people who have never been asked to question what they think, who find the dark arts not threatening but exciting, not the way children who have never been truly endangered find danger interesting. They find Snape useful. He is brilliant. His magical knowledge is already far beyond his year. He understands theory at a level that makes professors notice him. He can help with essays, with spells, with the kind of instinctive understanding of magic that cannot be taught. They like him for what he can do, not for who he is. Snape, who has never been liked for who he is, does not notice the difference. He belongs to something, that is enough. Lily is across the hall. She visits, he visits. The friendship does not end at the sorting. It bends and strains and continues in the hallways and the library and the small moments between classes, but it is different now because Lily is surrounded by people who are warm and open and quick to laugh, and Snape is surrounded by people who are building themselves into a particular shape. Proud, cold, contemptuous of anything that smells like weakness. Every time Lily asks him about Mulciber, he deflects. Every time she watches him laugh at something she does not think is funny, there is a moment where she looks at him with an expression he does not quite want to read. He does not want to read it because he already knows what it says. It says, "I am still here, but not for much longer if you keep going the way you are going." He keeps going. The other thing Hogwarts gives Snape in the same year it gives him Slytherin and Avery and Mulciber is the Marauders, James Potter, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, Peter Pettigrew, 4 boys from Gryffindor who are in the way of clever, popular, energetic Gazir boys who have always been the most interesting people in any room they've been in. Immediately and completely fascinated by Severus Snape. Not with warmth, with the particular focus of people who have found something that responds to them in a satisfying way. Snape reacts. That is the thing. He doesn't ignore them, can't ignore them, cannot find the particular brand of unbothered he would need to make him uninteresting. He is too proud for that, too quick, too genuinely furious, and his fury entertains them. James Potter is at this point in his life exactly as the books eventually show us. Talented, confident to the point of arrogance, accustomed to the particular ease of someone who has never been told no, never been made to feel small, never had to work for the assumption that the world will find him charming. He hexes Snape in corridors, he levitates him. He calls him Snivellus, a name that takes the thing Snape is most ashamed of, the crying, the visible hurt, the fact that he cannot hide it well enough, and builds it into a nickname. The cruelty is not subtle, but it is performed, and an audience that laughs even nervously is still an audience. Snape does not have the social capital to fight back effectively. What he has are his books, his knowledge, his dark arts. He develops spells, actual original magic, Levicorpus, Langlock, things that suggest a mind of remarkable power. In part to defend himself. He is becoming, out of necessity, one of the most formidable magical minds of his generation, and he is doing it in a school that rewards the James Potters of the world with popularity and laughter, while the Severus Snapes sit in the library, alone, getting better. By the time Severus Snape reaches his 5th year at Hogwarts, the shape of his life has become very clear. He is brilliant, he is isolated, he is being pulled in 2 directions by 2 worlds that are beginning to be incompatible. Lily Evans is still there. She is still asking him to choose differently. She is still against all evidence, believing in the person she met by the river. And Snape is still trying to hold both things at once, the world that accepts him and the person who sees him. He cannot have both. He does not know this yet. But something is coming, something in a courtyard, on a summer afternoon, with an audience watching, and after it happens, there is no coming back. Part 2, next.